Shaping up actually for a 2-0.
Interesting. All right, 2-0 for fnatic. That's the call we've got coming out of the veto. Vertigo overpass. That's going to go the way of mezii and the boys. That's the Alan Hender guarantee. That's an interesting one for sure. I think we're about ready to hop into the server. So let's go ahead and get things going and see if the proof that you're looking for is in fact in the pudding, or if we might have a little bit of an NiP surprise. And away we go. And off we go. Into the pistol round. Brollan, looking for that early contact. Likely going to have it as well, as many players are coming up the A ramp. And they'll back off. Utility sailing over. Nades in. No one cement, so nothing found just yet. But this is going to pull the fourth player to start shifting into defensive A. And NiP are well positioned for this. They've got the bodies. And there's a gap in that smoke. That's going to get interesting. Here's the fight. Flashbang for it. Brollan, those players are there. Tons of damage being dealt out, but no kills just yet. If they can drop the bomb, that would be huge. Brollan goes up top. He finds himself one. Now this is getting very chaotic indeed. Player on top of the boxes. mezii and Nicodas will bring this back. Bomb. Going to be planted. It is down. But Rez punishes the plant, and he's looking for more. He's getting more as well. Rez cleaning this all up. mezii. Woo! There you go. All right. Pistol round over and done with.
Absolute carnage on A towards the end. Rez just rattling off. Led towards the opponents. That missed smoke, I think it actually cost fnatic the round. It cost them probably 5 seconds to get the bomb down. And then once the bomb is planted, they can't retreat because there's an angle covering. You can't fall back into the side halls. You can't get back to sandbags or ramp. So they're forced into a close fight. And kind of was good for fnatic, for NiP, especially when you have Julies in play. You have a flash coming over the top. It kind of all looks really good. So, yeah, it's really kind of annoying, I guess, that just one slightly off lineup really punished them.
That's one of those things as well that I feel like is an early sign of concern. Obviously, you know, misutility can happen. Shouldn't. But it especially really shouldn't in the pistol round, because that is, of all the strats, the one where, generally speaking, you have the most control. You have the most knowledge of exactly what you're going to do. It's not like anything's being drawn up on the fly. You know what you're going to do in a pistol round going into it.
Probably also the most common smoke on Vertigo.
Yeah. Definitely little signs of worry. Crim's going to win this duel with Config. Early on, Crim's down to 15 off the rip on that, and he will be collected. But roeJ's able to trade that out, so advantage still found. The flank on quick. Brollan in the angle, and oh, look at this hold. Everyone's there in the nick of time. That was punishing. A 4-on-3 just turns on a dime.
Rez is off to a heck of a start. Not missing anything. B pressure out from fnatic. Config goes to flash for his teammates to fight onto B stairs. He actually swings wide behind it. I guess he thought from the communication, presumably, there are a lot more B ramp. He goes down, and that looked really bad when he died. So a lot of credit to the players on B proper from NiP. They held firm. They could have got split and absolutely enveloped, but stood their ground. And of course, that was the full investment from fnatic. This one's a very light buy. Just some deagles in the midst. Fascia feeling like he doesn't want to stick around for that fight.
Seems like we're going to finish B here, mostly because fnatic have given up control anywhere else. So this is going to be the group up in. They've got no utility for this, so I guess the boost up to see if they can't get a deagle shot off of Nicodas. I can't get anything off of Fast, to tell you that much. Config looking for the
I don't think Rez has missed a shot.
He's
just assassinating.
Looking snappy to start this. And I mean, once you see the first player danger panel, right? Or on the steps, it's like, okay, look for the boosts. They've got pistols. They're going to try this. Well, that's a great start for NiP.
Doesn't get a lot better than this. And I do think Vertigo was the wrong pick. But this helps justify them quite a lot already. Looking great. No AWP in play for head trick, so not quite a full bonus. I mean, they got full utility. It's just one MP9 from Config. I'm sure he can rummage up a decent angle, a decent fight. Rez top spawn is going to go down. Smoke is in behind it. Both smokes exchanged, so even Stevens here and NiP are pretty intent to hold on to this control. They're actually playing free ramp, so they've now taken B lobby. They're calling nothing's there, and they're saying, we're not scared to load up A with numbers. We don't have time soon.
Presence in mid as well being shown from config. Sort of dance between these two positions, using utility to reposition, shift himself around. Brollan collects a kill. There we go. Right down the ramp. This is going to soften up the approach wherever it does come in. And fnatic have yet to really make any impression on this, right? They haven't taken control. They've denied the early util.
What actually happened there on ramp? Because it looked like Brollan was just jiggling. And
it
then
was either a smoke fade or just a spam kill.
I don't think it was... I think Nikodos has peaked. Maybe he expected the one-way smoke to still be up or something, but that's a pretty cheap entry to give up. They haven't gained any ground. It's not like they got any valuable information to make a play off. Config is starting to push mid, and if he gets in behind, this is going to be a nightmare. The only saving grace here for fnatic is that NiP right now are leaning the wrong way. It's only Rez on B.
Yeah, but config is about to figure this out. Now the utility's coming over. They're going to have a fast flank on. Rez has been so good. The Molotov's going to make him so uncomfortable, but no one's watching for this. No one is watching for config. They don't expect this timing. He's dropped the bomb. He's held 2 up. They kill the player who's already up on site. They have to spend so much time just going back to fight config. 10 seconds. They don't have the time. Alan, they don't have the clock. Much less the ability to fight through the round. Everyone's here. It's over. fnatic have to punt with the remaining 2 players, and now they've got to be concerned about losing them after time.
I think they're going to be okay. But it's not a good situation to be in. The teammates cannot invest here. Best case is... Well, you could buy, but it is... It's pick your poison. Your money's either out of balance or you try and force out another buy right now. Neither decision is good. NiP have been practically flawless so far. We didn't quite see on board with Brollan, but that is a nightmare opening kill to give up from Nikodos, and... the proactivity from NiP, the proactive decisions to take B early, then fight ramp, and there was so much movement. Config finds all that space in mid. It's just a disaster. Rez goes down early. Okay.
All right. Maximize the rifles. Fadeaway shot from Roy as well. All right, we're off to the races here in this very stumbling by. Be great if you could stumble your way into a couple quick kills. That makes life all that much better. Config wants to retake some space, right? Because they're going to need something to operate off of now. So he wants a little bit of information, perhaps, to allow them to load up one angle. But they're pushing everything. They're pushing everything, and it's going to be mid that's under threat. Headtrick going into duel with a very wounded mezii. That he'll collect. He'll realize there's a lot of space here and get an upgrade in the rifle. But how quickly do they process mid? Because this is wide open right now. Alexi B's thinking about it. Alexi B's here in the nick of time, but he's going to have to do some great shooting. 2? Is that enough? It might be. Down to the 2-on-2. Pressure in towards B. They're separating, though. Crims could catch Headtrick here unawares. And if so, that just immediately funnels them in towards A. Headtrick has no idea. He has no idea. Crims patient, but there's not enough players for it. The bomb's down. Oh, no. Nico does. Unable to operate off of Crim's kill. Now puts the bomb in a... Oh, Crims. Okay. All right. Nice catch. Little tactical crouch on the end of that. What did he see, Alan?
I think he just spammed it. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. What a bizarre round. What a bizarre round. The boost on B is nice from fnatic. Rez gets caught in transition. Ripper from Roy. 5 on 3, and they take a lot of time to make a decision. They see B and A control, and NiP were in a really great spot actually for a lot of that round, despite going down early. Brollan, early peak, flash is ineffective, and Nikodos punishes.
They just swing? They really just want to fight this. That's aggressive. They had no idea Nikodos was already up the scaffolding, so config down for the count. I mean, this should be a save, I think. Rez gonna give it a look in, but utility behind him. What can you possibly hope to do? Bullets peppering your position, tagging the Molotov to even go for a peek. Yeah, you gotta be out of here, Rez.
we go. Brollan, some money. It's not going to be good for NiP. They don't have any loss. They only got 1,900 loss. So Hedra can drop one, and I think they have to buy because they're so low on loss bonus. Presenting a lot of fights there on ramp. Nicholas must have had an excellent spawn because he was very wide, holding up into yellow, into the gap from the off. So that worked out for him, and fnatic just kept throwing men over the trenches. They wanted to fight A so hard, and they could not win a single engagement.
I'll talk about momentum swinging on a dime. Does seem like we're going to get investment into this round. Headtrick dropping a rifle. Brollan should be able to buy out. Config will be limited in some capacity. But this is an important one. Paw's going to come in. And this is going to be around... Could swing a lot. fnatic crack through here.
Yeah, we're sorting out the buy right now. Config gets dropped a deagle. Okay. Could have got an SMG perhaps out. I think a quick talk about what utility they probably want to. See if Config uses this U2. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go for a better weapon. So maybe there's a plan in mind, an aggressive take. I doubt they'll be flying out a gap this round. And Nikolos is another good spawn, so he might do just the same and hold against any aggression in that area.
Brollan really wants these aggro angles. This time there's actually a smoke for it. And that's maybe why a read on roeJ is desire to get aggressive, and so Brollan will collect this time around. That's probably how the last peak was supposed to look. But no smoke made it a bit more exposed. Cheeky flashbangs from spawn, and look at the ground they've gained. Just res here. Now he's got support, but it's Config with the deagle to try and battle back in with his comrade. And they still got responsibility for mid. Shifting up head trick allows them to focus in towards this fight. Raz makes good for one. Config onto the space is going to be tough, and now they hear the deagle as well, so they might be...
Brollan is on a massive flank.
Oh, this could be huge, but I don't know if it's fast enough. Config. Oh, dragging the focus. Now it's good. Now it's good. Prince is looking for this, and he had to get that kill. He had to do it, but now he's all on his lonesome, so he has to do so much more. That was only the first step. This has worked well for NiP in a tough spot. What can it go up to try and set him up to recover the C4? But that's the end of his utility. That's the last little bit, and he's hoping for some aggression back in, because otherwise, he knows this is an nigh on impossible ask, and there's even a gap in that smoke, so they don't really have to respect it. This is tough for Crims. What's he gonna have? Creeping forward, taking the edge. Alexi B is leaving, which feels maybe a little
I don't think
risky.
they know their bomb.
Well,
the angle. The angle's good.
All good.
Fnatic. So roeJ is that was his own smoke up ramp. I call it the VP smoke. Not many others would. Most people call it, I guess, the sandbag smoke or the ramp smoke or something. But he's trying to play around the right side. He goes down. And Fnatic, they end up... I'm not sure if they popped B or accelerated behind an entry, but nobody threw any deep nades. They had no generator smoke. They had you can smoke a bit deeper if you like and molly onto the construction bit, the window. They did none of that, so they got massively stalled out. If a smoke lands generator, I think they get the bomb down much earlier. They're not taking all these fights, especially against Headtrick when he can take those deep lines. I think Fnatic should be pausing. They're making a lot of... maybe basic errors is the wrong word, but they need to get on the same page. They need to get on the same page because there's been too many gaps.
Brollan gonna take the same fight here. Playing around that smoke. He's got gaps under it. roeJ this time not pushing, but Headtrick's gonna want to play the pixel angle and sandbags on this smoke fade. And that could be dangerous if roeJ moves a muscle. They're going to boost up. They're going to boost up for this peak. Nikodaw's looking for it. roeJ down for the count. Nikodaw is falling off. They abandon it. And now with the man advantage, NiP are going to be content to play further in towards the site. They don't need to play as aggressively, though. Brollan always itching for a fight here. Still thinking about it. The young guns of Brollan and Headtrick, they both are just eager to duel.
Love that. Peek behind the nade smoke. And you're right. They're both incredibly aggressively tended. Head stack here, they're a little bit out of sync. Config shuffles a tad to the right, which is just below Alexi. I think Crims is a dead man. Surely he's a dead man and an...
No.
Oh, God. This...
Alexi.
If they were lined up, he never gets away with that. Why would you position yourself a meter off your teammate when you're above them? Or maybe they just weren't talking to each other? Such a basic error. That is... that's like a gold Nova mistake.
Don't know if the mistakes or not. Let's see if they can recover. That's the first one for Brollan, playing the off angle. Damage onto the next, but Headtrick's still here. And he'll miss a shot. Uncharacteristic there. Bomb goes down. Well, we will have a retake on deck. This was looking like it should have been more comfortable for NiP. fnatic making their way in towards the side hallway here. Lexi B. Gonna have the duel. Gonna have the first phase. Does he catch Fasher? Oh, he plays tucked. So they both miss each other. Now they're going to come onto the angle. Nikodaw's first contact with the elevator player. But now he might be distracted. He's got two angles to look. He doesn't know which way to face. Flashbang on. And he's down for the count. Just in the nick of time for the defuse. They do need the kit to get it, though. But it should be around for NiP.
Composed retake in the end. fnatic, they could have actually played into ramp, I guess, or around the sandbags area, but they chose to stick on the site and face, and maybe they had a little bit of a misread about where those CTs were retaking from, but it didn't help. Whilst NiP was slow, they were composed, they're playing together, peeking off the back of each other, so some really nice counter-strike from them. It was a great round. I mean, outside of the mid boost, it was a really nice round from NiP, and they are showing a lot of different looks. Rez alone faces, and he gets his head decapitated. That's something to think about.
I like this on the faster rounds. They're getting a lot more going. roeJ gets it. Brollan's going to take advantage of the spacing, though. roeJ, you can have the real estate. Brollan. Oh! Brollan. 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 Gotta find the bomb. There we go. Okay. And then he's going to molly himself out of the position with the bomb. That's a little more unfortunate, but now he wants to go find roeJ so that he can make sure that he's actually got the space free. And roeJ somehow doesn't seem to know that he's here. That's a little bit of an interesting calm situation. mezii will bring back the bomb, knowing that Brollan has gone back up, but Brollan's done his work. He's found 2 kills. He's confirmed the location of the bomb. Now he can just shift up, and he can trust his teammates to play towards the site. Maybe. One-on-one duel here. Alexi facing with the pistol. He's pushed mezii off. And so a chance to reload, a chance to reset. mezii, 40 seconds, a Tech 9, and some C4. What's he got for us?
Well, he's making plenty of noise. Brollan may have heard that, and I guess he has because Alexi's on his way over. Rifle is recovered, but mezii needs to hit some stellar shots to even get a plant here. They have moments, fnatic, in this game where it feels like they're going to turn it around. They make these rounds compelling, but overall, outside of keeping NiP's money in check, they haven't done a lot on this T side. They have not done a lot. Pauses in as they're going to talk through some of these round failings and what is not quite oiled up correctly. Where are the mistakes? How are we losing so many early entries? They need to talk about ramp, don't they? Because the amount of rounds where they've thrown this smoke halfway up the ramp, and NiP are fearless at just playing behind it. It might be prep. It might be really good prep, knowing that fnatic never flash through, but what is the point in that smoke, Fnatic, if you're never going to play around it? You're just wasting utility.
It does feel like they're just giving a smoke to Brollan that he's loving. Round after round, right? He's exploited it far more than they've gained any advantage off of it. Interesting one, though. Fnatic. Spread out in this one. Holding for aggression mid. Players bottom ramp. They haven't gone behind the smoke this time, and Brollan's checked for it, so he knows. He knows they're not up. They don't have to fear this at all. I think that's maybe one of the issues that Fnatic is encountering, right? Is that Brollan is so fearless in checking their bluffs that they just can never really sell the presence off of that smoke.
Ooh.
Pixel.
Okay,
Pixel.
that was too much.
And this time they get caught.
Yeah, there was... I think they're pressuring B a tad, Fnatic, but not necessarily enough that you'd have thought it was a heavy B lean. But that's been NiP's NiP's start to this half. You've got two players in Hedrick and Brollan, which love to get a little bit feisty. And this time, they pushed the boundaries a little bit too far.
Alexi trades his life out off of a crazy flash. You got this position for Config. He might be trying to sell it. There's no presence here, but Crims is still concerned, still aware. Not aware enough. Uh-oh. But Nikoda's getting that kill on towards Rez means that it's still a 3-on-1. Config in a little bit of a tough spot here. What's he going to do? What's he going to show for us? Flashbang over. Should be no world where he gets this. Nikoda's angle. But even so, it's just not going to happen.
Far too much to ask of him. And of course, that aggression actually is looking really bad now, isn't it? Because I didn't realize how close money was to the brink for NiP. They're now full reset. This is double eco territory on 4 of the 5 players. Ooh. One lapse in judgment and it's completely ruined their economy. Fnatic can still make a very good go of this T side. Here comes that investment. Rez buying up some armor first. I think you got to let Brollan play. He's the only person with a gun. Got to let him try and make some moves. Got to. I mean, he loves playing around this ramp smoke, but if I'm Fnatic, maybe I expect that it's got to be Brollan to find an opening.
Put Brollan in towards mid, so this is definitely a position change up. It's interesting to me that they play, you know, both the very aggressive players on towards a ramp that really want to push that boundary. They really want to take those fights. I mean, to be fair, naturally speaking, you would also look at Config as an aggressive player, but that hasn't really been the role he's occupied within this team. And
I think the most glaring thing about their positions is that you don't have an experienced vocal player to call ramp. I think that's the real absence. And of course, they're playing their AWP ramp, which is probably 60-40 these days. That teams play either rifler there or always play their AWP there. So it could be Alexi and Brollan. I don't think Alexi, of course, would call it, but you've got 2 players that... I mean, Brollan has played a lot of ramp, especially his time on Fnatic, but you don't necessarily have the biggest voices on this team, which you'd presume were Alexi, Config, and Rez around this area.
Swinging of Alexi. Oh, he's going to set up a pop flash. Brollan, tuck to the crane. Here it comes. Here's that pop flash confirmation that our players are here, but Brollan can't get anything. Head trick a little bit more in 25 seconds. Time is the issue here, Alan. The bomb needs to be planted, and they know it. 20 seconds. They've got some forward positioning, but if this is just a burst play through for the Pistols, oh, they get the bomb down. That's a missed opportunity here for NiP. A flank now on, but it's being read. Fasher watching for it. With this, Fnatic are in a much better position to control it. If they kill Config, It's downright comfortable, and that's indeed what they've been able to do. Taps on the bomb, ineffective, can't do anything about that. And at this point, NiP's chances in this round are fading before our very eyes.
Oh, even some extra frags would be nice, but I don't think it's going to come the way of these remaining NiP players. Clean stuff from fnatic. Rifle was dropped in the worst possible place, close up on the crane, and that could never get recovered and recycled onto more players. So all the stopping power from NiP was lost very fast, and the complexion of this half has changed dramatically now. This is going to be a heavy eco, and it's been a tough one for fnatic, but they are getting quite a few rounds now under their belt. Certainly would expect 5, and they're also banking up a little bit of cash along the way because these have been a clean couple in a row.
Right. Get one. Brollan with a cheeky angle. Can't do anything with it. Damage done, but damage, well, not exactly too compelling here. Config was getting cheeky, but he's eventually figured out, and that was the play. fnatic ran into the stack, they dismantled it. There just wasn't much behind said stack, and well, it's going to be a 5th round on the board for fnatic. Nice recovery here into this half.
I'm waiting to see what call they go for in the following. So they've had pretty much exclusively defaults, be it free A or I think they've done a lot of 2-1-2s and stuff like this. And they love just to throw this halfway ramp so I can take it super slow. If they ever got a read on how NiP are playing the ramp and they went up 4 behind that smoke and flashed through, it would be a massacre. That flash would destroy NiP, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that call to come. See if someone can get the read.
Alan trying to telepathically brain that play into mezii's mind. But we'll see. The UK connection.
I imagine they're boot camping right now. I imagine they're in Poland.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but they normally boot camp in Poland. And given it's Showdown, which is online, and this is online, and you're about to play the RMRs, I don't see why you wouldn't be boot camping.
You don't know that. Your mezii tracker's not working. Aggression from roeJ. It's at least traded 1 for 1, but not exactly the best look for NiP early on. And now Config under siege, and he's got to know it. He sticks around. This is bold. This is really bold, and they know how he likes to play, so the molly comes in to push him off. Deny that information, give them for the space to work.
He's got no help. They stayed free on A. There's nobody covering
they're
mid.
Fighting there.
Yeah, they're trying to aggressively fight A instead. And if fnatic spot any more players here on A, it's going to be alarm bells ringing that there's going to be a lot of space elsewhere which can be claimed.
Alexi plays playing such a cheeky, committed angle as well.
I think he's just holding the pixel if you go into yellow, which is, if you're going up there, you're never going to be looking to your left. You're always looking towards the gap.
A little bit more aggressive on the face, and now they all just commit on forward. Needed something. It was desperation there as Config got found elsewhere as well. So that's a great round for fnatic. Nothing saved through. No money really here for NiP and fnatic. Meanwhile, just 1 round separates these teams.
Feeling a little bit better on my 2-0 prediction again. It was a bit of a rough start, guys. We might have lost in the first half, but we made a good comeback. It's been a bit of a bizarre game of Vertigo. I can't believe how many defaults it's been for fnatic. But I guess when you keep claiming B entries, you're not scared to send numbers over. Fasher this time with the best spawn. Config hits the deck, and him and roeJ have not had the best run of things for the last few.
Oh, fast play up. roeJ catches this. Now this is getting a little more interesting. A lot of utility out, but it's not catching. roeJ has to be careful about the panel spam, but he's away. And if they still want to go for this, which is, it's very one-dimensional for fnatic, they've abandoned that default early. This could be awkward. They're into the gauntlet. They're into the fray. meat grinder of pistol players. Grimm's 1 for 1. And now into the smoke goes Head Trick, but they should know he was here, so it's caught as he goes through. And the duel, when all is said and done, will favor the team with more firepower. fnatic managed to make their way out of that stack.
Have you ever seen a more clear-cut example of brute forcing out a bomb site? fnatic invested all their utility into that B hit, and that's why they didn't reverse. I bet if they had one more smoke, they would have cancelled and gone somewhere else. But they just felt like we have no choice. If we don't go now, we're so exposed trying to get the bomb towards the site elsewhere. And it actually, to come out of that with 3 alive when you're committing into 4 players is not a bad result in the end. Okay, Brollan. You heard that one.
Nice starter for a Head Trick. Brollan gonna push off of it. So aggressive is he. Nikodas wants to make this happen with the rifle. Oh, this is gonna be so cheeky on the smoke fade. Nikodas playing anti-flash here. Brollan backing off. Nikodas taking the space. They're never gonna expect this. Roy's the aggressive player. You don't expect Nikodas to be filling his role. And he's been given all this space. All this space. One found. Can't get the second. Nikodas a little bit slow to figure that one out, but still good impact. Peels away the opera. Gives them something to build upon. And mezii's now picked up his comrade's op, so they're juggling the guns. They're swapping things around. And on the aggression, Fasher might just catch this. He does indeed. Down to even numbers here for this final round. 35 seconds times the pressure. But it's a spread defense, right? One player towards mid, one player towards either site. And now the mid player gone means that both those site players are under threat. CB gets the first, but the pinch is presumably going to be on in here. If Crims just accelerates, there's very little that Brollan can do to help him out. And there's the kill. They know that's the site player. They know that's the bomb plant, all but guaranteed. Brollan, what do you have for us? What do you have for us in the clutch? Bomb down, ticking away. Crims taking the deep angle in towards mid. Brollan reads it. That's huge. Now he sets up the duel. Brollan and mezii. The IGL and the Prodigy. And it's the in-game leader who thinks his way through it. We'll be back after this break.
8-7. Quite a recovery for fnatic. Wasn't the perfect start to their offensive campaign, but now we switch the sides. Now we get into the groove. NiP, of course, selective Vertigo. So we're expecting some feisty strategies. Free in mid here from fnatic. What a read. Julie's up close. If someone takes roeJ's contact, this could be disastrous. Sneakerdos first called upon. Assassination. Crims gets the second, and they actually clear roeJ. I can't believe this is actually an even scenario. Rerouting now, as NiP gives up mid. And fnatic have not taken space elsewhere, despite seeing all those players in the mid vicinity. So far, so good for NiP. It's just Fasher here on the A-bomb site. Bit of a jump spot. Spots one player, falls back. Surely he's going to call for the cavalry, but there's no movement from his teammates just yet. Nikados starting to slip his way over. As Fasher calls, I'm holding the side halls. You hold front side, Nikados. Smoke is good. So I say off some angles. Molly takes Fasher back and choose to play behind it. Bomb is starting to be planted. And Hedrick's taking a little bit low. Now they can reposition for the after plant. And here it comes. Flashes over. Fasher on top. Players swinging through close. mezii on top of default. All three of these NiP players are just fighting from ramp. Tap is in. There's no kit for this CT side. It's going to be a lengthy stick, but these players are swinging. Brollan up first. Collects one frag. Out of ammunition is Hedrick as he falls, and it's getting really messy, but the time is slipping further and further and further into NiP's favor. The trades are good, but ultimately, it goes the way of NiP.
There we go. That's a little bit of recovery, perhaps. NiP started out so strong in that first half that I'm sure they want to get back into the swing of things, having lost the grips on the control of this one. That's a nice way.
They won first pistol, didn't they? I think they did. They must have won first pistol because they went up early.
They did. Yeah, no, they did.
It's very much needed in this game. They lost a lot of those late gun rounds.
Yeah, there've been gaps. I'm curious to see it on the T side, right? Because we did see some of what felt like miscoordination, maybe, which is unusual for a team's map pick. I mean, I'm thinking about that round where they just were double stacked mid and not actually in line with each other, but there were other moments where it didn't seem like everything was necessarily flowing in the same speed. And that's troubling. fnatic with the force buy here will be looking to exploit any potential gaps. And Brollan, speaking of gaps, has found one. He's solo dolo, but he's about to make a lot of presence for one man with a MAC-10, and that's going to send his team funneling up B. No, they may be thinking about this. They might be going for the cancel. There's still time, and Crims flank. Oh, Crims. Crims, you cheeky veteran, you. He hears footsteps now. He's going to be able to get that kill. That's the bomb. Cost of a lot of health, and he will be cleaned back out, but still that shows a lot of discord into the ranks. They're going to try and regroup, move on towards A, and that means it's just roeJ with a CZ to try and do something about this. mezii fast developing on the flank. Nikodos trying to come into support. Will be able to do so, though. He's smoked off. Can the CZ find? Oh my goodness, he can find a dink. Brollan, low. Can't be capitalized upon. mezii, what do you got? Nothing. And with that, the threat should be out of the round. Nikodos maybe just thinking about bailing out of here. And indeed he is. So a 9th round on for NiP, the lead reclaimed.
A little bit nervy for a second. This Crims got in behind. Trades were good. NiP stabilize. mezii flank never came to a great deal. And they retake the lead. Next one's going to be a heavy eco. So NiP making good on these pistol rounds too with the conversions. They're very clean. They'll be happy with that. And as this half develops, I think I'm going to keep an eye on Alexi's cooling. See how the mid-rounding is. Because if you look at the team kind of on paper from the outset, you'd say if they're going to have some errors in this team, it's not going to be individual. It's going to be with the communication, with the mid-rounding off the back of that, and can Alexi make these pieces work?
Lots of noise made in that approach up the side hall. They're not making a secret of it. Brollan. wants them to know. Now Nikodos, I mean, that's just a position check, and Nikodos gets caught on it, so now they've got ramp, and how quickly did they realize that there's really nothing here in defense? It's just pistols. Even if they move on mass for the retake, if you get cut off in the choke points, there's very little you can do with these.
They're just sending Brollan in first. He's got the MP9. He's calling it, I can't see anything. Just give sandbags a clear, and then I don't think fnatic can do anything to stop a bomb plant. They might try and Zerg it through on the tap, but up against rifles, gonna be tricky.
It's really the only possible that they have. Nade goes in. Okay, bit of damage onto Alexi. Kill found. 2 kills found. All right. Okay. The round was never quite in doubt, but that is far more expensive than NiP would like. That 3 kills is a great result off of the back of a single HE.
Quite impressive. Quite impressive. And this is actually quite a lot to limit this. It would have been an excellent economy for NiP if they kept both the anti-ecos clean. And now they've brought back a tad in check. AWP out from the rip with Nikodos. He is going to start towards A. Nade's being thrown by Fasher as Roy picks up the sidle side. I'm going to see what Nikodos chooses to do. He's going to peek further in. He's going to stick behind sandbags. How does Brollan even see Roy there?
Couldn't tell you. Off the back of that, fnatic going to be able to hold control of A. Brollan still wants to threaten it, though. So 1 kill puts the doubt in their mind. He's going to freeze these players up. No one's playing mid. There's a lot of room for Config to operate if he takes advantage of it, and he's starting to shift around. But in doing that 1 kill from Crims, feels he can focus a little bit more. And Rez getting caught. This is going to start to put some doubts in their mind. Now, Config doesn't have the space, but we've got Nikodos maybe shifting back in. If he gains those sightlines, it's going to be much tougher for Config. Brollan can't capitalize. That was an opportunity. Opportunity missed, and bodies are dropping by the wayside. Config's activation way too late by this point. fnatic are just looking, prepared for it, so it's just on a head trick. And I mean, this might just turn into a save from head trick. Winning the round in a 1v4 is a tough ask. Fasher's not giving him the fight he'd be looking for. If he found that kill, it's a sight. If that kill doesn't present itself, he knows somebody's waiting. Might as well just try and stay alive.
Saving feels like the best option. Config has money. Rez can buy for himself. A bit of looking, and they might actually start chasing after time. 6 seconds. Gotta stay alive here, head trick.
I think he's got the time on his side.
Got away with that. Got away with that. Very nice round from fnatic. Claim a couple entries. There was that one moment when Nikodos picked up mid. Fasher was falling to play a retake, and he was super exposed to ramp. That's when Brollan swung. That was the real chance where the round could have flipped on his head, because that would have been an open A site. But fortunately for the NiP squad, Brollan couldn't quite connect. And I'm sure this pause has come in because they need to figure out the buy, because it's going to be a bit of jumbling around. Who's going to have the rifles? Who needs the utility? An important one for them because they've got barely any loss bonus and no cash in the bank. Be quite the recession if they lose this round.
Oh, this is so committed. Now his position's known. He has to get out of there. Roy has to try and bail his comrade out. Damage is being done. These nades are going to continue to sail in, and Nikodos is a goner, so an even exchange so far. Roy couldn't keep him alive. Those are players here. What's the scaffolding? He's got the read. That's a nice bit of play. Config trying to punish him on the smoke fade, but doesn't find the timing, and roeJ is away, able to reset. So this early advantage is Fnatic's. They'll look to retake space, potentially towards the side hall, but for now they're content to wait. Put some air into this. Let an NiP make the next move. And it is just a move up onto the site. Head trick, a miss there. It might not give him another fight. Certainly not one as easy as that. Flashbang off of it. Fasher punishes nicely. Done. Good bit of team play there. roeJ setting up. Fasher executing. What do you have, Config? Brollan is barely a wisp in existence still. It's going to need to be Config to make something happen here, and there's been nothing to push Fnatic off these positions. Single flashbang, single smoke. Good luck, guys. There's 4 players here. They're all ready for this fight. And even as mezii shifts off, it barely weakens this defense. A triangle of doom. Bomb now dropped and committed. And Config caught dropping the smoke.
Massive round from roeJ. And Fnatic there at the end. They were content to say, if somehow this bomb slips back to B, we're very happy to play a 4-on-2 retake. They just sat 4 on A there. And every possibility crossfired. The Sidehall's retake nades from Crims was very valuable. I was a little bit scared they would give up too much information about how many players they had there on A, but NiP was so committed they couldn't turn back to B. They had no lurker to exploit that. So overall, worked out very well for Fnatic. And as I kind of brought up at the start of the previous round, it's not going to look good for the NiP economy. Should they lose it? Glarks across the board. Get the rattlesnake going.
Quacks. It's the mating call of the dazed bird.
Is that a real bird?
Yeah. Scientific word, Samus marinus.
Right. Some new information.
Welcome to the Learning Channel. Comes to play over. roeJ, a little bit committed, but they've got no util to deal with him, so roeJ just going to feast here. roeJ and Fasher competing to see who can rack up the most ecos, and only one can win. The head trick is the last prize. The most dangerous game. Man. Ecos.
One man and his Glock up against the world, and he's dead. What a disaster.
We'll need to wait for the rest for the sequel.
Well, NiP did some learning in that round. They found out what the word excruciating pain meant. As they were spread very evenly across the ramp.
I didn't think that's where you were going when you said spread. After excruciating. Well, we'll move on here. Fasher has been looking a little snappy in these last few. I mean, he's top of the board for the team, but it's a very even kill distribution, so that doesn't really make the difference. I'm just enjoying how snappy he's been looking in defense of this A ramp. Good to see. He's a player who has had flashers, if you will. Bye, Rez. Goodbye, Rez. How are you alive? How are you alive? You shouldn't be alive. Oh my goodness, Config's actually going to kill, and they know where mezii is because mezii just dropped down. Config wants this. Config wants this. That may have been an overextension. And now the bodies are peeling back the other way, and Rez, I mean, but Rez is a ghost. Rez, if they conduct a little bit of a seance here, they might be able to hear comms from Rez, and Headtrick has just joined him next to the Afterlife. He might just be on his way there as well. He's got the bomb at least, but he's got 3 HP. A minute to play with. And right now, Fnatic are prepping the sage, the incense, a little bit of salt circles, because they're going to try and exercise this last remaining ghost of round 22. I almost called him the last remaining goat. Bah.
A little bit early for you. Would excuse it. Okay. Well, good recovery for Fnatic. I still don't understand how Rez survived that mortar strike. That was 2 mollies, 2 nades dunked on his head. And somehow...
Built different.
Didn't actually go down.
Built different, Alan.
Force field or something. Shield generators still up. we've learned anything from sci-fi, take down the mothership guys and all the shields will drop. That's how you get them.
You gotta do a land assault in the AT-ATs, right? Take out the shield battery.
Exactly. Or fly one ship through that minuscule hole to the glaring, massive fault.
That's the
destroy everything.
Zelda boss school of engineering. Leave a giant glowing red point.
Of course, put in there by deliberately by someone working for the opposition. That's what fnatic need. They need a double agent in NiP.
I mean, they might have one right now. They're in the lead, right? Despite losing pistols
Are we
in
gonna say
both halves.
config?
Despite losing the leads in both halves. He would be the obvious candidate. Newest guy in, right? You always gotta suspect.
He's not having the best game.
But I mean, things are looking very good for fnatic. Money behind them. They've had the recoveries, right, since the guns have come out. If you look at both halves and you remove the influence of the pistol rounds, you know, the first 3 rounds of the half, realistically, it's been very good. mezii gonna try and make it better. Smoke to cover his position. Crims, okay, no, mezii's just gonna kill everyone. I was gonna say Crims puts him in a really tough spot because he doesn't see that first player getting across, but never mind. Right.
Crims.
Mezii's good for it.
Let him have the ace. Let him have the ace.
Especially after you let the guy pass.
Exactly. Well, there you have it. Brownie points are 1. Mezii's the best player ever. UK Counter-Strike is back. All the memes. Your UK CS bingo card. Rattle it out. Full house for everybody.
He acts like these are memes when he's on broadcast, but if you catch him in the green room, every time mezii pulls off a clip, he fully believes this.
But you get the flip side. You get the suffering, the pain.
I do also get
the anguish, the frustration.
It is the secret of Counter-Strike broadcast is that the real content is watching people in the green room when the teams that they like are playing. That's the real joy. That's the real human theater and drama. Me win NA, you with UK. We got Maniac for Vitality. Yanko for G2. There's a lot of good ones. Maui getting roasted by everybody anytime Big is playing, even if they're winning.
Yeah, even when their lineup's completely different. Why not? Nobody, I say endpoint causes me.
Yeah, but
absolute suffering.
They do, but endpoint rarely makes it to events where you'd be in a green room.
That is true, and that's the biggest part. That's the biggest pain. They don't even make it.
Oh, poor endpoint catching strays. This is their price for tagging you in all their socials.
Yeah. It's their price for letting NiP film that veto. That's a year of abuse. Okay, Roy. Flash is there. Might catch Roy turning it. Brollan hard clears. Brollan hard clears. The flash actually was ineffective. And now we're speeding up. Flash is wide. Flash is wide. Head removed. Where's this trade from Yellow? It's just too late. Head trick. Almost got it. And Fasher is on an absolute tear. Look at him.
The timing. He's just feeling it now. Flow state is where he's at. And when Config will get one, the hail of bullets back the other way means he cannot hold on to the space at all. They've got everything working in their favor, but Config, what a time to maybe come alive. He doesn't expect the player Cement, though. How would he? They killed the guy. They killed the guy Cement, and mezii, little beta-roo. Maybe sells out his teammate, but if he can make good, it's all going to be forgiven.
Nade.
One-on-one, Nade's there. mezii dodges the brunt of it, but he's down to 40. And Rez is going walkabout. mezii's reading it, though. Is Rez going to think he's repositioned? No. mezii, this is all going to come down to timing. Rez coming up for the cleanup. He's going to have it. He's not going to check. Hello. mezii staying stock still. Rez trying to think steps ahead. His streets behind.
fnatic almost let that one slip. 4v2. And they make an aggressive call saying this will just fight ramp. We're feeling good. We're feeling confident. We found some kills here. And they actually walked straight into NiP. And they weren't really playing off each other all too well. So, slight lapse in concentration does let NiP back into the round. But I guess overall, harm, no foul. They're still winning the rounds. They've still got a massive economic buffer. roeJ is warming up. Mezii's looking good. Fasher was a monster in the previous. Where's the gap in the defense?
I just need to remind everyone of a couple of things that makes this even more dire than it looks for NiP. This is their map pick, and also they won both pistols and the subsequent 3 rounds off of them. This was over in the first half. It was 7-2 at one point, before you had 6 rounds to close the half. And then since the guns have come out here, there's been nothing for NiP. That kill from Config might be enough to propel them back forward, but they immediately lose Alexi B, so advantage still here for fnatic. But they've lost the middle of the map. That's the problem. That's the difficulty. Bomb is still bottom forked, and it's been spotted and dropped. Okay, head trick giving that up now removes the danger potentially from this round. fnatic can take control of that, can focus on defending the bomb itself. They can give up the sites. They don't need to hold them. And NiP, all this mid control will be for naught if you have nothing to play around. Config just shatters his ankles. That will have been heard. And it means that mezii's coming right back into the fight, ready for it. Ready to tend to his splintered ankles. Rez, back up the ladder. This is
going to be a long save. This is going to be a long save. I thought they might commit really early to it with Config and Rez, because Config also hero AK'd, so he might be a little bit strapped for cash. Moving onwards, is Crim's going to catch? If he stays towards the very back of the platform... Oh, he just can't quite see the head. Oh! Oh! Almost, Crims. Almost.
$15-10 now. 15-10. That was the, I believe, 7th round in a row for fnatic. Just need one more. See if they can make it 8. As your 2-0 prediction is looking very good, Alan.
Well, I was contractually obliged to make the prediction. Can never predict against mezii. That's the rules. That's how it works. Is Nikodos going to keep walking in mid? Alexi B. He's going to get eked out when he's lining up the nades. Here comes the swing.
Oh, Nico on the angle. He's going to get one. Blinded up. So it's just 1 for 1. It's not a great exchange if you're fnatic. Especially considering the amount of presence Config can now have in towards mid, but they're clearing back into him. They want this. Fasher's going to bring the fight right to him. Back up on the box. Now support. That's the flashbang to set it up. Did Config get away? He did. Far enough in towards the corner, but he's forced off the real estate, and that's the really important part here. Nice counter molly from roeJ, but he can't stay alive. Forced out of the angle by the util. This is spicy, and now Config straight through mid. They're going to cancel. They're going to go B. Config's got all this control, and he's got the kill on a mezii as well. So here we go. NiP late to get involved in this half, late to get activated here, but this round, I mean, even with the amount of money that's been built up, this is a tough ask for fnatic to go for. I suppose economic damage is probably worth risking their own rifles. But this is going to be...
Because NiP are against 15, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I think you just save... I was wondering if Crim's going to try and molly out the plant spot and give it a bit of a look in, but he weren't feeling it. He weren't feeling it. That was the best T round for sure from NiP. I really enjoyed that. A lot of pressure across the map. Alexi be a bit salty that he's the one that goes down to the AWP when Nikodos was definitely aiming for Config. But all in all, trade was there. And we saw a lot of good communication from NiP. They see the players fighting mid, and they call over to Brollan. There's a lot of players here in mid. A is probably open. Brollan starts walking on A. Players start fighting back into A, and that's when Config knows he can make the move in mid. So some good communication, some good understanding of the macro positioning. And did you see that, Mike? Did you see what roeJ just bought?
What did he
just bought a Bison. It's on the ground.
Love it. Love it. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Against armored opponents, you might as well bring a butter knife. Looks like bringing a fast duel here towards the ramp. Heavy commitment from both sides. roeJ wants this aggression. He's kind of stuck. That Molotov means he's very stuck. They've spammed this before. Will NiP clear this position again? Brollan! Oh no, doesn't realize it in time. The smoke works out, and roeJ is away. That's theft, robbery, and a full escape, and a follow-up kill as well. So fnatic right back to the early round winning ways, and now it's looking a bit desperate for NiP. Config has the space in mid. He's got Rez alongside him. This is a powerful position, but it is being held by mezii. And okay, mezii deleting.
Whoa.
And there we go. Config has just single-handedly ripped open this site and turned this round back around. This is going to be a tricky retake. I mean, 3-on-3, it's viable for sure. Basher passed the first choke point, but a smoke in to answer him. Molotov as well means that they're going to be able to secure this plant.
Save your nades, Basher. Save them. You can't fight here on the plant. Save them for the after plant. Ah, that molly would be so good on Dupree. But it's just been wasted. There is a smoke for Fasher, but... Oh, have they already made the call? Looks like it. It's just going to be the save.
That one, I mean, that's config.
Oh, yeah.
That's all config.
It was the only move they could have made. They saw 2 to 3 ramp for fnatic. They, of course, know that probably means someone's exposed towards mid or B. They start crawling mid. They get a lot of real estate without making any noise. And mezii's angle, well, it is left eye. But you'd normally expect it to be able to take a shot before you're dead. And Config said no. Config said, I will have your heads on a platter. Thank you very much.
Well, now.
That should have been the game.
Being used
that should have been it.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely should have been. They'll know that it's a missed opportunity, but this is the last timeout to be used by fnatic. Right, they burned them all. So this is the words coming in. Kita saying, here's where we should have won that. Here's how we fix that. And here's how we do win that, guys. Come on. Come on, lads.
If they had just a tiny bit more B lobby information, they would have got the inkling and pushed in, but yeah, they were a bit sandwiched. Or if one player was just jiggling up on construction, that would have helped too. So we'll see if there's any changes to that B defense. No need to change anything over towards A. That looked pretty good.
mezii, there's a player danger panel, but oh, mezii, do you see the ankle? Do you see the ankle? He spots the head, he can't land the shot. Mezii. He's on the first, but Crims is here. He spotted Rez getting around. He's waiting for this fight. Give it to me, he says. Rez a little bit exposed. Damage gonna be there. Nades chase it. And they're ready. They're not waiting for that bomb to go down. They're into the retake before it happens. Fasher finds one, but this is very awkward. They're dancing about. Utility here. Oh, the kill's on for Head Trick. What do you got for us, Nikodos? What do you got for us? And the nades are good enough. The molly, the flames, the HEs. Goodbye, Nikodos and NiP. They've cracked the eco at this point. The money's starting to fade away. And there's only 2 more rounds before we talk overtime.
And I'll be getting in the heads. Of course, the last round was heavy mid. There's been a lot of A rounds. fnatic have been free A a lot of times, and this time it was just mezii on the B bomb site. Crim's a little bit of a way off, and once mezii's caught, well, we're just scrambling. We're just scrambling to cover off the rest of the bomb site. So I like the adaptation from NiP. Ahead of the game, knowing fnatic would have to make a move to not allow mid to be open. So exposed. And despite the brawl, it was looking very, very good. This is just a half buy for fnatic. So we should, in massive quotation marks, be geared up for going the distance. Crucial round for NiP, just to stay calm. Good team play, good trading, and not allow any chances for fnatic into one of these. Because earlier on, we saw how potent these pistols could be.
planted. Here comes the move. Flashbang is good, though. roeJ's a dead man. Rez able to capitalize. Nico does. Taking 2. Advantage, though, for NiP. Still some doubt in their minds, right? They're not going to want to react off of this too harshly. And if they leave ramp, there's a possibility where Crims could pick up a gun. Make something of that. Reroute through mid. Config's held on to this position. Now they're going to try and get activated with that bomb. All 3 moving in group. Means that it's just going to be mezii that they even possibly encounter. It's on the right spot. Oh, he's got the spot. Not the crosshair placement, though. And with that, this round should be just about done. A desperate attempt for Grims, perhaps. But honestly, yeah, I think there's a world where he goes and gets a gun from ramp and takes it into the next round. Not a world he's interested in living in.
He hasn't got great money. I think should heed your advice. And maybe now it's time to rethink it. What a recovery for NiP. The T side started so flat for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was 7 gun rounds in a row for fnatic to get map point. And then
they go up 5-on-3 and lose it to the mid walk. Ooh, can't let that one stick in the minds. Last chance saloon then for fnatic to get this done in regulation. It's been a heck of a game. Very much a roller coaster. NiP making great on those pistol rounds. And considering this their map pick, maybe we should have expected a little bit more out of them. But they've got a chance of overtime, and as we know, once you make it to overtime, that is a massive reset button. You've done it. You survived the onslaught. And then we're back at square 0. Here we go then. Can fnatic just squeak out their opponent's map pick and put themselves in an excellent position going on to overpass?
Fasha runs towards mid in this one. There's the peak early on. mezii gonna get tagged up. Nades chase. He's losing a lot of health off the back of it. And he'll be forced to give up the angle. This mid fight, this is huge. Fasha wins it. Config has been such a key piece of these last few rounds, and now he's down early. That removes that mid element. That removes that rotation. That's been the safety valve, the back away spot for NiP. So now pressure's on to these remaining 4. Alexi down to half. Config gone. That ramps up the need for somebody else to step to the forefront. And right now, fnatic, they're not going for their aggressive moves on towards A ramp. They're holding. They're a little more passive. They want to make NiP make the first step.
Reactionary counter-strike. They've got a lot of utility here. They could go for a retake. They could just save it till they take contact. Nikodos is ready and waiting in the side halls. And Brollan, oh, is he going to peek? I thought he was for a second. But he thinks better of it. Yeah, bomb is here. Surely it's going to be an A ending. And here comes all that utility.
Here goes Wally to section off side hall, at least for the moment. That's ambitious from Nico, but it works. It works, and he gets the smoke down and confirmation on Headtrick's position. So this calls in the troops. This calls in the cavalry. It brings in Fasher to support. 30 seconds. Time starting to become an issue as well. NiP are going to be committed here, period. They just don't really have the chance anymore to bail out. So Flash is going to come over. That's all they've got remaining to work with. And the counter flash is good. Position taken. Headtrick can't even zero in that kill. It's all falling apart here. 15 seconds. They're running out of time. They're running out of chances. They're running out of lives. Rez won, but Headtrick now alone. 13 HP, and he is done for. A late run back for NiP, but it's ultimately not enough. It's not even close. fnatic close this 16-14 in full control. Up a map now. Tell me, Alan, did the doubt creep into your mind?
Oh, of course.